Welcome to Mama Faya Tarot, and thank you so much for watching. I am doing something a little different today, and for the next few Tuesdays, I'm going to try this out and see how it goes. It's True Crime Tuesdays over here, and the first, I'm going to start with a little less controversial grouping and read on that, and then see where it goes, and I may do something a little more controversial next week. But this week, I am going to tackle how Clyde Barrow and Bonnie Parker really felt about each other. Clyde Barrow's birthday is actually coming up on the 24th. He was an Aries, born in 1909, March 24th, 1909. And Bonnie Parker is a Libra, born October 1st, 1910. They are one of the most infamous couples, and where I usually focus on love, I figured reading on those two and how they actually felt about each other, not how, society has painted them to feel about each other. So I'm going to try and get into the nitty gritty, because the truth is, yes, while, Bonnie did describe their connection as star-crossed, and if you want to get a really, really amazing in-depth view of what Bonnie Parker and Clyde Barrow were like, head over to Stephanie Harlow's channel. She just did this amazing special on them. And I want to give a quick introduction as to why I'm doing this. I have been into true crime since I was in high school, and I want to do a little something different on the channel. So on Tuesdays from now on, I am going to be posting videos about some infamous people. But I did figure I'd start with Clyde Barrow and Bonnie Parker. Number one, because Clyde Barrow's birthday is coming up as an Aries. And number two, they're an Aries-Libra mix, which is, whoa. That is crazy. I've dated some Libras as an Aries myself, and it's been interesting to say the least. And after listening to Stephanie Harlow's special on them, I was really intrigued by how in love Bonnie Parker was with every guy she was with. So she was quite the hopeless romantic, and actually I think Clyde Barrow was quite a romantic as well. So let's see what's going on with those two, what was really going on with those two. And hopefully this is a really interesting video. And next week I will be doing something a little more controversial. I'm not going to reveal who I'm doing next. If you have an idea for me for True Crime Tuesdays, or a case you would like me to cover, you can email me at mamafayatarot@gmail.com. That is literally the only email you can reach me at. Okay, so if someone ever approaches you in the comments about a WhatsApp or with an email, it ain't me. Ignore it. Report them. Okay, be diligent and be smart out here on these weird fucking YouTube streets. All right, I love you guys so much, so let's get into this. Dear Father God, Mother Earth, Spirit Guides, Angels, and Ancestors, please protect me and my viewers by only allowing in messages from the highest of vibrational beings and blocking negative energies from entering this sacred space, so mote it be. All right, so I'm going to pull for Clyde Barrow and Bonnie Parker. So Clyde Barrow is going to be on this side. So what was he like? Ooh, connect with your emotions. Yeah, and he was well known for his temper. But I do think he felt very emotional about Bonnie, although he was known to take off on her too. So he wasn't this like amazing boyfriend by any means. Yeah, he tended to take care of his own needs. All right, so despite the 8 million 8 million rap songs that are out there and 8 million country songs and all these like ideas that Bonnie and Clyde were, this perfect couple that just loved each other, he took care of his needs. He really did. He could be a selfish guy. There's no doubt. But he definitely had his love for her too. I can see that, connecting with emotion may have been really hard for Clyde. As an Aries, I can resonate with that. As a March 27th Aries, our birthdays were pretty close to each other. And he was really well known for flipping out on people and then apologizing. I do think he had this belief that he was doing everything right. Whether it was within the relationship or outside the relationship. Wow, my whole face is so itchy today. I'm not sure why. Just when I'm on YouTube, though. Strange. He felt like he was making all the right moves. I do think he did care genuinely about Bonnie's needs too. But it was more Like, who came first? Number one. Wow. He definitely could have been psychic, which, he wasn't known for being this amazing criminal. Which, so if he had learned to tap into these psychic gifts a little more, he may have been a little more successful and spent a little less time in jail. He was psychic, though. And I do think he felt a strong psychic connection with Bonnie. It's too bad that like he grew up during the Depression and came up in really rural Texas where, there was little money to be made and, wow, yeah, but she was a totally different deal. She was a dreamer, a daydreamer. I do believe she may have been diagnosed with ADD or something if she were around now. She was boy crazy. She had these pie in the sky ideas. And as someone with her own Libra placements like myself, I can totally see, I resonate with both of these people. And I think all of us do in some level. Wow. Yeah, she was never really a criminal, you guys. And Spirit would have probably preferred her protect herself a lot more from Clyde than she actually did. I do think she may have even thought about leaving him many times. And that may not have fit the narrative of what, what the movies want us to think. I do believe that she wanted to go sometimes. I think she got sick of his shenanigans. I think she got sick of, getting left behind. So she wasn't this notorious criminal. He was way more the criminal than she was. Although she, she got down. She became a ride or die chick, but she wasn't always. Like a typical Libra, though, she was always looking for balance. And she really did see Clyde as this Superman who, at least part of the time, she saw this man as her Superman who would take care of her, who, who would have her back. But then I think there were other times when he had proven that he did not. And so we really love to have this like super romanticized idea of what these two people were like when honestly, they were living a hard freaking life. They were eating cold food. They were living in their car. It was not this glamorous lifestyle that Bonnie wanted, that she envisioned it to be before she got on the road with him. And I believe that to be fully true. That's coming through in the reading. Wow. He never knew. I do think that Clyde also thought about getting out of the criminal gang. I do also think he may have had other women or maybe other men in jail. I mean, I do think that there's definitely, he did some bouncing around. He did some juggling. I juggled his criminal life and this life with Bonnie. Ooh, wow. I do believe, wow. I do believe, right? They may have right before they died that he truly thought about walking away from that criminal life. He may have known that they were going to go out like this. I mean, I know he had no plans of ever going back to jail, probably because of things that had happened to him in jail. But I do think that he thought about getting out of this life. He did love Bonnie. He was extremely sexually attracted to her. I do think that Clyde Barrow had a pretty ferocious sexual appetite. And I do think that, or it might have been hypersexuality because of bipolar or something, definitely. And Bonnie did it for him. I mean, no doubt. But so did other people. And so again, here we go again, romanticizing this connection when there's definitely, at least on Clyde's side, some juggling. But he was highly, highly attracted to her. he thought about getting out of this criminal life. I truly believe this. He thought about getting out. He felt like inside that he wanted to get out, maybe have children with Bonnie. And they missed that opportunity because they were killed. I do think that he thought about it. And I do think Spirit presented him with that option of, you can leave this life. You can do something else. And I do think, Clyde had some of that influence in his life from somewhere, but he just definitely thought about it and never got to it. What a shame. Wow. See, on the other hand, Bonnie was honest with him. I do think that when it is proven that when he was sentenced to, I don't know, some insane amount of time in jail, that she did start dating somebody else. But she was honest with him. And as soon as he got out of jail, he went and got her. And she went back to Clyde. So, but she was truly honest about everything. Wow. It does look like she did think about leaving Clyde. I don't know if Clyde ever really told her, hey, let's get out of this. Let's leave this life. But I do think that they thought about it. She was afraid to go, though. She felt afraid to leave. Yeah, but she wanted out. I think she was sick of living in a car. I think she wanted a home. I think she bit off a lot more than she could chew. I think Spirit told her to get out of there. Her mother told her to get out of there. I do think she may have wanted to be a mother really badly. And her making this impulsive choice to live a life of crime kind of took that away from her. I do think, she may have even gotten pregnant. Yeah, she may have even, it could have been possible she was pregnant when they were killed. I don't know. I had to look that up. But I do think that she talked to Clyde about wanting to be a mother. I think it was very, very clear that she wanted children. Let's see. What else about these two. This is interesting. Definitely both thought about getting out of the life, but I don't know if they talked about that so much. I do think she probably did say, hey, let's do something different. Maybe we can try something else, I didn't get to finish Stephanie Harlow's whole special, or I think there was still an episode left or something. But it does seem, wow. He did love to drive. That was definitely true. And I do think that he didn't think that they would die. I think he thought that they would go on, get lots of money, and maybe even move to an island somewhere. Yeah, okay. They wanted out. They wanted out of the criminal life. I do think that they fought more than it was said. I do think he thought about leaving Bonnie too, possibly. He did. Oh shit. I do wonder that if he got a big enough amount of money at some point, if he would have left her. Yes, he would have. Knight of Wands, twice. He may have had some strong Sagittarius in his chart, maybe some Cancer as well. I do think that Five of Pentacles, but then he would have missed her and he would have went back for her. There would have been some, if they had continued on, there would have definitely been more back and forth, back and forth. The fact that these two died young really solidified the romantic idea that we have put on these two, when really they were struggling really hard just to get by. And I do think he would have stuck it out with Bonnie in the end, but there definitely could have been some back and forth. Whoa. I do think that Bonnie may have caught him cheating or may have caught him in some lies. I do wonder, and I don't remember from what that series of videos said, but I do think Bonnie Parker may have had some real father issues and some attachment issues and really got attached to men. She would, the men in her life became her whole focus. And I do think she lied about how much she liked being on the road. She wasn't happy on the road. She wasn't happy, eating cold food and sleeping in a car. But her love for Clyde was very real. Very, very real. And I do think that Clyde's love for her was as real as Clyde could be. Okay, it was Clyde's version of love, is what I'm getting. Her love was unconditional and pure. Which isn't shocking. I do think that they spoke different love languages too. I think hers were words of affirmation, and his may have been time spent and gifts. He loved gifts. Wow, she truly believed that they were meant to be together. And he would have stuck it out, there's no doubt, but there would have been some back and forth. Again, I do think he had this pretty ferocious sexual appetite. And it was a different time. Women did tend to stand by their men a lot more than we do now. Wow. Yeah. Bonnie wanted a baby. And she wanted Clyde's baby. I do fully believe that. And it was documented that she loved children, that she loved to be around kids, and that she liked to spend time with them. So that doesn't surprise me at all. Whereas I do think that he really did picture getting enough money to get out of this life and take her with him. It wasn't, but they definitely fought a lot more. There was definitely deception. But the love that she felt was certainly real. Queen of Swords, damn. It may have been harder for him to love. He had a hard time getting close to people, but I do think he did love her too. I think it was a different type though, not the typical, yeah, there it is, King of Cups. He kept a lot of those more loving feelings inside. I do think that he told her, the Queen of Swords is the Libra, and then the King of Cups is the King of Cups. I do think he saw her as absolutely stunningly beautiful. And I do think that, they did make a pretty good match. Five of Swords, but it was his need to just take care of himself that really got him in trouble in the love department. He tended to be quite selfish, which may be why we see a lot of men really romanticizing Bonnie and Clyde over women. I don't know. The Hermit, yeah, he needed his alone time. And he would take off on her. Whether, and there are times when he took off on her. Yeah, Six of Swords. I do think that Clyde Barrow may have been a little bit of a narcissist. Maybe. A little something, something. I don't know. Here we go again. Two of Cups. Yeah, the love was real, but only on one side. And it's like, damn, Bonnie really loved him. Damn, Nine of Swords. And it created so much anxiety for her. She truly was a ride or die. There's no doubt. The magician. I mean, she brought this on herself. She knew what she was getting into, but I don't think she realized how much she was getting into. She manifested the devil. I mean, he was not easy to love. And it was almost like Bonnie was more addicted to love than actually in love. 10 of Wands. And it's almost like she grew up in a society where love did hurt. Love was supposed to hurt. Love was, it was almost like that's what was expected, which is interesting to me. I do think that this, I keep getting, gonna have to face it, you're addicted to love, and it's like, so she was in love with being in love. I don't see this one being in love as much with Clyde. Judgment. And I do think that if these two lived into older ages, there would have been a ton of back and forth. Breakups, back together, breakup, back together. But she would have always taken him back. And it's like, once Bonnie gave her heart, you got the whole thing. And I mean, that's a beautiful thing. It really is. And I do think that Clyde Barrow had his own addiction to Bonnie. But he also had his own addiction to himself and his needs, and possibly other addictions, maybe even a sex addiction. I'm not sure, but that's definitely here. And I'm going to have to look it up. Like, was he really that sexual? King of Coins at the bottom of the deck. All right, I'm going to wrap this up. But I do think this was cool. I really enjoyed doing it. And I hope that you enjoyed watching this. And I will be definitely doing another one for next Tuesday. So I hope you enjoyed it. Let me see. This guy, he definitely had some kind of mental illness. I mean, PTSD at the very least. Abandoned, yeah. And it was like, when he can't think, he runs. So he would run from Bonnie. I mean, and narcissists do that a lot. They run away and hide when they feel shameful. But always, like, there was, I mean, I think Bonnie gave probably excellent supply. If this is a narcissist empath dynamic, it very well could be. And, he was always looking back to get more because no one gave supply like Bonnie. I don't know. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting. So we got to be careful how we romanticize people. Yeah, and it's kind of like he knew no one was going to love him like she did. No one ever had before. And she was just such a romantic that she really would have done anything for him until she got sick of it. And she was very close to being sick of it. So I wonder if that's why he thought about getting out of life too. Maybe he could sense that she was getting over it. Yeah, she was changing towards the end. And how she felt started to change as well. But she was still like fighting this addiction to love and this addiction to Clyde. I mean, they were both really good looking kids. And wow, friendship. She felt a true connection with Clyde. And I do think that he felt a connection with her too. I do. But he was definitely the more prolific criminal, and she sort of let the criminal element in. And she thought that bravery was intensely sexy. I do think that. I do think that she found his intensity just so addictive. It was probably, pretty similar to like amphetamines, like just gets her going. And yeah, and she wanted to get married, but I do think she wanted to get married, have kids, and live a traditional life with Clyde at some point. And I think she fantasized about that quite a bit. Family life. And she never got that. And it makes me feel really sad for Bonnie because she seemed to be the real romantic here. And if it was the other way around, I promise I'd tell you, it's not just because she's the female, but she definitely, devoted her whole heart. And I mean, she was his girl. And I mean, they went out like Romeo and Juliet. So, but I don't know. Was it as romantic as we all think? I don't think so. But Clyde was definitely gifted. And if he had learned to tap into his gifts, I do believe he would have been a better criminal. All right. I love you guys. Thanks again for watching Mama Fire Tarot. And I really hope you enjoyed this special installment of True Crime Tuesdays. And I will be back next Tuesday with another True Crime installment. Someone totally different. And but also always look out for your zodiac sign readings as well. Okay. Love you guys. Take care.